Hello beautiful, strong, happy, healthy people. I just want to make this really quick video of the 7 top tips that I'm going to give any female that is thinking about starting jiu-jitsu, or these apply to a lot of martial arts. So I know because of my videos and a lot of people are saying that they really wish they could give jiu-jitsu a go. So I'm just going to give you guys a couple quick tips that I didn't get when I first started jiu-jitsu. I actually had no idea what the sport was, and my brothers dragged me onto the mats, and I didn't even know you were supposed to tap when you're getting choked out. So I almost got choked out and put to sleep on my first go. So 7 tips. The first one is clothing. So come in your activewear. So skin tight tights are fine. They used to be a little bit weird when I first started about 5 years ago, but now a lot of girls are wearing it, so it's completely okay. Don't wear loose t-shirts. So loose t-shirts, when you get sweaty, not necessarily your sweat, other people's sweat, it makes them really heavy, and people's foot gets caught in them and hand gets caught in them, and they get very uncomfortable and kind of gross. So you want to wear skin tight tops. So make sure, if you can, cover in the shoulders, because otherwise you'll get mat burns on the back of your shoulders. You'll find out the hard way. And last little clothing tip is cleavage. Make sure you cover up your cleavage for a couple of reasons. One, sometimes it does make guys uncomfortable, because it is a little bit uncomfortable for some men to roll with a girl in the first place, because it is contact. And if there's cleavage in the way, it kind of makes it a little bit awkward. So I have been asked by a coach to tell a new girl if she could next time wear a really high neck top, because she did have a really big chest, and a couple of guys were just feeling a little unsure and what to do, because your chest is in their face, and you do realize a lot more that someone's got their chest out when it's smothering you in the face. So high neck tops, there are proper rash guards you can get. Under Armour tops are perfect. So skin tight, cover up the cleavage. And also when you're leaning over and you're drilling, a lot of times things can fall out, especially if you have a big chest. So you do not want that to happen, because that would be very uncomfortable. And the last little bit for clothing is gi. So if you're brand new, more than likely you're going to do a no gi class, or you're going to borrow a gi from your club if they do that, because you don't want to invest in $100 to $300 gi straight off the bat. So if you are wearing a gi, make sure you wear tights underneath your gi or shorts. This is because throughout the class you're constantly doing up your pants, so your pants will come down, and if you're wearing a G-string, more than likely your pants do get pulled. So I recommend something high, belly button height, underneath your pants, because your pants and your top and everything's going to come flying up, clothes are going to go everywhere. Not necessarily like that, but like lifting up everywhere. So if you can just cover up, have everything skin tight, cover up as much as you can, so you're comfortable and your training partner is comfortable. Otherwise you're going to have some rather embarrassing moments to deal with. Speak from experience on that one. Point number 2 is this gorgeous stuff called makeup. So you do not want to be wearing makeup. Now understand, you have had work and you train to the end of the day, and you go into training and you might have makeup on. You don't want too much on your eyes, because you're going to come out looking like a raccoon. But the main reason to not wear foundation is not because we want you to, like, because you're at a gym, you don't need to look pretty. Look pretty if you don't look pretty, but it's that if someone's got a brand new white gorgeous gi, you're going to be covering it full of foundation and mascara. So even the other day I was rolling with a guy and we're doing triangle chokes, and I had makeup on from the morning, didn't realize that I had foundation on his pants, and I'm like, I'm so sorry. Now you got my makeup all over your pants. So just make sure, if you do have makeup on, just get a baby wipe and wash off at the start. Now when I first started jiu-jitsu, I couldn't go anywhere without makeup. I was a very self-conscious person, so I did actually apply light foundation before I started rolling. But over time, because you do get rid of it through sweaty, you do get over that discomfort. So if it is a personal choice and you do need to put on like a light little bit, just be careful with your training partners. Just be polite and not ruin their clothing with some really high dense staining makeup. But if you can, the best thing to do is to take it off and just get over the fact that you are on a mat full of men with no makeup. Point number 3 is hair. If you're like me and you have insanely long hair, I recommend putting it in a ponytail and plaiting it. So many girls throw it in a ponytail, you know who you are, and then they've got you in side control, or you're trying to go for a choke and you're getting a handful of their ponytail. So if you do not want your hair ripped out of your head, or your partner to have to untangle their fingers from your hair. Please ponytail and plait. You can bun it. Some girls like to bun it, but I find like the laying on it, it gets caught. Plait it. If you're good at braids, fully like MMA style, badass girl, braid it. But I can't braid. I try to learn. I YouTubed it a bunch of times. Does not work for me. So I recommend plaiting it. One other point with your hair, no bobby pins. I cannot stress this one enough. I don't know of any cases it's happened, but you are moving and you're scrambling, and there's a lot of things, and just like bobby pins fall out and on the mat for one, and if it gets caught in the middle of a puzzle mat, something, someone steps on it, there's like a potential injury. But I always have a fear, it could be my own irrational fear, that you just move on it wrong and you get stabbed in the head or something to your training partner. So I just recommend nothing loose. So nothing, not on my points, but extra pointer, no jewelry, earrings, you're gonna get hit and you're gonna get stabbed. Any nose piercing, lip piercings, take out. Necklaces, anklets, rings, bracelets, watches, absolutely nothing. You don't want it to break and you don't want to get injured. Even wedding rings, I have seen some people train with wedding rings, but recommending to take it off as well. Number 4 is our nails. So paint your nails pretty, whatever you want, but I've had girls come in with full length acrylic nails on. Now the reason for the nails is because if you got long nails, you're like, oh, I'm not gonna scratch or put my nails into anyone. Everyone scratches everyone if you have longer nails, because you're clinging onto dear life and you're scratching. Like, it's a natural instinct, not necessarily intentionally scratching, but you are. Like, so toenails as well, fingernails. And the problem is, it's not just a little scratch, it's that a big scratch, because the mats, the bacteria, can lead to staph infections. So I have had someone scratch me really bad, and I've had staph 3 times from Jiu Jitsu mats. Even though I've got really good hygiene and you do your best to keep on top of it, it just happens. So keep your nails nice and short. Don't scratch your training partners. And most gyms, if you have long nails, I chew them quickly if I forgot to cut them or had some time off. Ask the gym, and most likely someone there has nail clippers, so just cut the nails. Number 5 piece of advice is you are going to lose. I mean that in the nicest way possible. I mean, don't go into the sport, don't go onto the mat thinking I'm really good at like a CrossFit or another martial art, or I'm really good at something, or I've done rugby, I'm tough, I'm gonna be awesome. Everyone sucks. This is a whole new game. So you might have played checkers before, but then this is chess. So there's a whole new level of rules. There's a whole new thing you need to learn about body awareness, understanding people. Like, it's a whole nother ball game. So don't come into the sport on the mat thinking that you're going to be awesome at it straight off the bat. You might have a natural talent based on your movement. You might be strong. You might understand your body a lot better than some people coming from it that have no athletic background like I did, who I just like stumbled and I was weak and I was just falling, and most people thought I'd actually quit within the first few months, but 5 years later, still going strong, still going. So just accept the fact that you're not going to be a world champion straight off the bat. That you are going to have to tap out, which means that when you're in a position that you're uncomfortable or hurts, or there before you get injured, you tap the floor. I know that now. And yeah, just accept that you're not going to be the best on your first day. It takes, I like to say, roughly around 6 months before you're starting to actually tap people strongly. Otherwise you could be getting a couple taps, but they're usually like clumsy taps with new people. But after 6 months, you've got a good idea of what's kind of going on. Number 6. Now, I've looked at a couple videos with this concept online, and no one talks about this. I guess it has nothing to do with Jiu-Jitsu, but it does. And this is about boys and dating. So you're female and you're going into a sport that is extremely male dominant. And now it's growing. There's a lot more females. Like, now we're getting to a point where some classes there's more females. Sometimes we got mixed with females. Now there's a lot of the men are strong, they're athletic, a lot of them are young, they're good looking, there's a lot of contact. So a lot of girls and a lot of people have mixed feelings about boys on the mats. Now my view is that you can't really help yourself too much. What I mean by that is, if you're starting at a place, there are girls that do come in that are really big flirts, and they do make their way around the gym. Now gyms are quite like family, so whatever happens, everyone will know about it, whether you like it or not. It just kind of happens. So if you're gonna dip your toe in the ink, just be very careful with what you're doing. But the thing is, sometimes it is hard because this is like you are finding someone with common interests as you're meeting new people that are single and eligible, and you actually might meet that perfect someone there. And it has happened. A lot of the guys I have dated, I've actually met on the mats. So it's not intentionally, and it's not what I've wanted to happen. It's just happened that way because these are the guys that I'm around all the time. Same as meeting guys in the gym, workplace. It's not you're not intentionally supposed to do it, but it does happen, and I don't shy away from it. I do have girls, and I do encourage it on the mats, as long as they keep it clean, as long as you keep it family friendly, and as long as you're aware of the consequences if things go bad. That's my view on it. Everyone is completely different. Some people would say do not draw the line. A lot of my men would not go near any girl there. A lot of girls would not go near any men there. Some girls go in and sleep with the class. They don't last very long. And other girls actually find their perfect partner and get married and are happy. So I'm all for dating guys on the mats, but keep it clean and really be aware of the situation first. And number 7 is my tip, not nearly as big as my other little tips, is a hygiene point. So don't be the smelly person on the mat. It is a sweaty sport, and it is a contact sport. So wash your hair. I recommend after every training session to wash your hair. It's a little bit harder if you train every day, you don't want to ruin your hair, but it does get sweaty and gross. Keep your hair nice and clean. Shower daily, of course. If you do have a taxing and physical job, or in the summer and you get sweaty, try and shower before you come into jiu-jitsu. Especially if you're wearing like shoes a day, like you don't want to have smelly feet, or anything like that. And if you need to, spray some deodorant or cologne, but don't go too much on the perfumes, because you are in close contact and it can be a little bit intoxicating if someone overly smells like a garden full of flowers. So good hygiene, nice and clean. When after jiu-jitsu, shower as quick as possible. Now some gyms don't really have showers, so you just gotta wait till you get home. There's been times where I haven't actually gotten to a shower after for about 5 hours. Kind of gross, but usually like I walk into my door with my jiu-jitsu bag still and throw it down near the laundry, and I jump straight in the shower and don't do anything else first. So that's the best bet. Another thing is, when you're always bring a pair of flip-flops, so even go put them in your bag. If you ever need to get off the mat and go to the bathroom, I see people all the time, they'll walk into the bathroom barefooted and then walk back on the mat, and then my face is smothered up against that mat. So please, everyone, male, female, wear flip-flops to the bathroom. There might not be anything on the floor, but every time you flush that toilet, the water and everything sprays around the room, falls around the toilet, and then I've got my face on your urine. So please, flip-flops anytime you're leaving the mat, so you feel nice and clean when you come back on. So those are my 7 tips that I recommend females who are starting out on jiu-jitsu. You might not agree with some of them, especially the boy one, but if you have any other tips as a male for females, as a female for females, make sure you write that in those comments below. I'd love to hear everyone else's tips, and also thoughts on that dating thing. I am curious to see what other people do think about that, because there are mixed feelings. But if you have any other tips for first timers, write it right there in the comments below, so more females don't have to embarrass themselves and learn the hard way like I did on a couple of those points. So until next time, make sure you press that big red subscribe button, or like and follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.